Welcome to the Spiritual Sweet Spot, a place where you can rejuvenate your soul. Hosted by author M.B. Mosley. This is a safe space for all. Welcome back, family. Come on in. Yes. Grab your spiritual goggles. Grab your spiritual shovel. We're going to dig just a little bit, but we're going to need those spiritual goggles to come with. Put them on your face. Put them right in front of your eyeballs. We need to see in the spiritual realm what in the world is going on over here. Right? Family, how are you doing? How are you doing? Sending peace, love, and happiness to your household. Sending light and love to you. We wake up one day. We're in March. I'm turning around looking like, well, wait a minute. What's going on? Wake up one day and CDC said goodbye, no mask, do whatever you want, whatever. What is COVID? And then Putin over there in Russia is like, listen, I'm about to go over here. I don't need permission. It's okay. I'll show myself in, and I'm like, world, hello, world, you gonna need to calm down. World, ain't nobody got no time for this. World, what are you doing? The world is like, we're doing what we always do. We've been doing this since the dawn of ages. Where have you been? Oh, you were just barely born. We've been doing this for a long time. We're not going anywhere. The world said they're not going anywhere, right? Humanity is, but okay. I'm like, okay. Let's get in here, family. Let's talk about this, but we're going to keep it light. It's already too much dark stuff going on out there, right? And really, I just wanted to come before you all and just talk about these unconventional times, navigating these unconventional times. What gives? How do you? Where? When? Why? So many questions. Family, it is up to the light workers of this universe to keep the light permeating, blast out the dark. Yes. No, the concerns of the world are not ours physically. As spiritual beings having a human experience, we can participate. Going within, meditate, seeking out source, finding answers for long lost questions, perhaps evolving yourself within this spiritual journey of ours. Listen, I'm not saying that we have to be naive to the fact of what's going on around us. But I need you all to understand that what's going on around us has been going on since your greats. How far do we want to take this back? And Spirit was giving me this direction to come and encourage, because there may be somebody out there that this message may resonate with. And for me, it's very familiar. It's a familiar message. I used to live in the shadows of what affected Earth used to affect me. If a woman in somewhere Madagascar and her and her child was stranded and some bad tragedy had befallen them, then I couldn't go to sleep. I was concerned about what was going on. I wanted to know what was going on with her. If the government of so-and-so over there in Greenland, whoever their government is, if there is a government, anyways, no pun intended, does... Shout out to Greenland. I wanted to know. And it drove me bananas. Restless nights, taking on the issues of the world. Like, listen, nobody coined me an ambassador, of this here world, but I am a light worker. So I had to learn to curate my energy. I had to learn to live within throughout these times. Family, I'm just here to encourage someone that's concerned. I see and I feel that the energy out here is a lot of anxiousness, a lot of nervousness. I travel the roads of the internet. Mine is the social media. We got those apps off the phone finally. But now somebody got to help me get the YouTube app off my phone, family. Somebody got to help me I don't know. Somebody got to help me just get that app completely off my phone. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. I'm working on it. When we go within it, we're not going to have no distractions, right? When Spirit family says, nope, it's time, detox completely, 100%. But family, it's like, the concerns, the woes, if we're not too careful, we could be pulled into this energy. I want you all to be mindful of the shift in the atmosphere. My urgent message to you, beloved, is to take heed. Keep your spiritual goggles on. Take note of everything happening around us. But have rest and assurance that this has been happening since the dawn of day. Since the inception of the human race. We have an anxious, nervous energy in the atmosphere because it is very familiar. We're getting into moments of uncertainty. Now you have a lot of speculation outlets is what I call them. If you're watching the news, God bless, but you might want to tone down on that. You might have a lot of restless nights. We have a lot of speculation outlets, right? Everyone is going everywhere. We got all kinds of speculations going on around the world of where this world is going. I'm hearing people talking about, it's going to be World War III, predicting things that haven't come to manifest at all. I'm hearing people talking about this going to be the Great Depression. I'm hearing people talking about a shortage of food. The concerns that turn into anxiety, that turn into palpable nervousness, that turn into restless nights, that turn into, just mass hysteria. Now, listen, I'm not naive to the fact that there is a whole lot going on. A whole lot. But at the same token, Spirit said to me, what has happened today has happened before. And I said, you know what, Spirit, you're right. The ancient book of wisdom does say there's nothing new under the sun, doesn't it? Somewhere in there. Somebody Google that. I mean, for those that are new to the podcast, welcome. The old book of wisdom, the ancient book of wisdom is the Bible. For those that follow that, right? Great moral stories on how to do life. But listen. The Earth's energy atmosphere has shifted. Don't let it rob you as well from your joy and your moment. Understanding that nothing new is under the sun, beloved. It's not an urgency or an urgent call to saying just get up, go and live day by day. But as a light worker, as a being that's on this spiritual path, endowed and absorbed in light for this universe, light workers bring the frequency and the vibrations high. They raise the vibrations and the frequencies of the earth. Now, I'm not saying it's your due diligence, but I'm saying whenever you find yourself at a crossroads of wondering if you should cross over into the anxious zone, the nervous zone, or the restless night zone, then I'm just saying, perhaps, family, it's time for us to go within. Seek source. Continue to meditate, however that meditation looks like for you. Or continue with your routine to continue to raise your vibrations and your frequency. This type of energy shift in the atmosphere does us no good when we all fall into it. There's a lot of fear mongering going on. But how can we be so afraid of the unknown? That's my question. I mean, there's a lot of speculation. I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Hold up. Hold your horses. Hold your horses. Pull those reins back. Wait a minute. Pause. Why the fear mongering with so much uncertainty? No one knows for sure but the people that are doing what they're doing, right? But no one knows for sure. Like, listen, I don't even know where this is going. Unless somebody wants to do a deep dive, right? To travel to the future, perhaps to see what's going on. But I'm here to assure you that in these moments of chaos and seemingly maybe destruction, and yes, I'm here. I am here with you, my brother and my sister, my beloved ones, my nephews and my nieces. Call me auntie. I'm here. I'm old enough to probably have some children out here too. So I'm here for my daughters, my sons. I'm here for you all. I'm here. And I'm here with you all. Especially here, I get it, in the United States. I hear a lot of griping, rightfully so, gas prices. I'm hearing it. Definitely. There's a shift. But what do we do as a human being that's having a spiritual experience in this human flesh? We lean into our spiritualness. We lean into, that's a new word. Somebody write that down. Put my name next to it. We lean into our spiritual aspect. When the word gets too complicated for me, I like to go within, period. On Periana, baby. Because it's like, listen, I don't have time for games. Like, what are you all doing? Like, listen, Russia, Ukraine, what are you all doing? First of all, wait a minute. What happened to COVID? Wait. Okay, you know what, world? I don't have time for this. I just don't. I got time to go within and sit still. Visualize. Take myself far away. Faroe Islands, here I come. Denmark, is that you? I mean, a forest somewhere with not a lot of trees and not a lot of bugs, not a lot of snakes, kind of like a fantasy forest, perhaps magical. All right, is that just me and my imaginations? But anyways, that's where my little cabin will be. Don't take me camping. I'm not. I haven't 100% graduated. I'm making strides. I connect to earth, barefoot to earth. I do that. I hang out with nature when need be. My husband is astounded by me. Family, how am I supposed to feel about this? No, listen, guys, I'm not perfect. This is my journey to my true self. I'm peeling back the onions and finding out, the layers that lay beneath. They're not pretty. They're not cute. They're not. But the beauty is evolving, right? So we're evolving. So I don't know how to feel about this. Every time my husband, people that have known me for some time, that have been around me, I don't even know how to say this in all sincerity. A oneness, my own unique oneness. But my husband is like, let me tell you what my husband says to me, family. Let me tell you what my husband says to me. You all keep me in your meditation as well. You all just be like sending love and light to her. Like, just do me like that, just real quick, okay? My husband always says, I don't know how you're from Africa and you are afraid of bugs. I'm like, what? Every single time he says this, because every single time I kind of like run, just jog, more like a sprint. I don't know, guys. I mean, I'm working on things, right? I am. I just don't want to get stung by a wasp, but it's the wings, it's the sound, it's the I don't know. I really listen. One day I'm gonna do a past life regression, and I don't know if it's super far past lives. I am thinking we're gonna come back to this message, but let's talk, family. Let me vent real quick. I don't think it's past life though. I'm thinking it's in this life. Okay. So yes, welcome if you're new to the podcast. My day ones know the story of my, where I initially came from, whatever, So I was born in Harare, Zimbabwe, if you're new to the podcast, right? So my memories, family, my memories of growing up, I remember, okay, let's talk. But let me tell you something. Okay, you know what? I'm getting it. See, I'm having a revelation right now talking to you all. It started off a little bit. Some of it was chameleons. They have chameleons. We have chameleons. They are chameleons. So I remember the house that I grew up in, we'll go Peter Patter, barefoot, whatnot, go dabble in, get thorns in a hill or so. That's just make you tough, pluck it out and keep running around. But I kid you not, I don't like chameleons up to this day, but remember you all, if you've listened to the other podcasts, I done told you about my cousins and them, right? They scared us. They terrified us when we went to visit the village. So part of it, you guys, I promise you guys, this is bananas. So part of it is because, my cousins told me when I was younger, I know I'm super grown, right? Get over it. I get it. But listen, these things have to stem from somewhere. Because talking to you all, I'm thinking, wow, this does definitely stem from somewhere. First, I was going to think it was like my past lives, but no, I think it's this life. So my cousins are like, chameleons will get on. They taught us, be careful of chameleons. Make sure you don't get a chameleon on your skin. Because if it's on your skin, it sticks to your skin. You will need a razor blade to remove. I kid you guys, guys and girls, I kid you not. That is my cousins for you. Okay. I mean, yeah, I need to bring that up to the therapist. I mean, let's start some trauma sesh about all of that. But, so they said, like, if a chameleon gets on you, it'll steal your color. That's what they said. They were like, it'll steal your color and it'll stick onto you. So they made it seem like it becomes like your identity. And I was like, oh my gosh. So, growing up, would run around in the yard. But if I saw a chameleon, I was done. I mean, playtime is over. Wrap it up. Let's go inside the crib. Like, nobody has time for that. And so that's where that stems from. I don't like them. Even up to now, you cannot bring a chameleon. Maybe someone may convince, you know what? Maybe we need some of that, like, what is it called? Shock therapy or whatever it's called, like where they put you in the environment with the things you don't like or whatever. I don't know what will happen. I have no idea. Probably hyperventilate and like, I don't know. I don't think I'll pass out, but I don't want to be in that. So therefore I was just giving you a highlight real quick of the things that I didn't like, chameleon. We had big grasshoppers, right? But I mean, I would see it, but I wouldn't jump so much as I do now, so I'm just trying to see. We had bugs, but like I told my husband, we had bugs, but it was okay. Let me say something respectfully. I told him, like, where I grew up, we had bugs, but the bugs were not as gigantic as the bugs out here. I'm just saying, that's my observation. Maybe, I don't know, maybe in my little eyes, whatever. But the biggest thing I remember was like a grasshopper. Like I seen the, super great grandma grasshopper, something like that, like adult grasshopper. You get what I'm saying? Kind of like a thumb size, but they're just going about their business, and then grasshoppers, it wasn't like a whole bunch. I mean, out here in the Midwest where I live, let me tell you something. Now, pause on that. We're getting back to the story real quick. So when we moved out here, I was 16. We moved to Southern California. We lived in the valley. Okay. So let me paint this picture for you where we lived. Beautiful weather. They had a pincher bug. I think pincher bug or something like that. They had like little, like, it looked like it had like little sharp, little whatever you call it, the mouthpiece, whatever you call that. I'm not like a bug expert, but that's about it. You'd see flies. That's about it in Southern California, where we were in the valley. Heck, perhaps, beautiful stuff you'd see was the butterfly, perhaps, but that was it, So I lived a little bit without, major gangs of bugs, And so now fast forward, listen, I don't even remember if I saw a bee or a wasp where we lived in Southern California. I'm not saying they were there, but I just don't recall running away from them. And so a pincher bug or something is the most I saw. And you could just take a slipper. You guys, I'm learning. Okay. Forgive me. I'm not perfect. Squash it out a little bit. But then I move. And then, so the background to the Southern California town we grew up in, brown, just, a town, valley, whatever. Then I move to the Midwest. Beautiful. I wanted to move to the Midwest because my best friend at that time, she lived, and the best friend that's in Canada now, she lived in Kansas, the state of Kansas. And so when I visited her in the state of Kansas, I fell in love with it. I was like, oh my gosh, it's so green. It's beautiful out here. And then in the summertime ish or about summertime, I'm thinking it's the cicadas. It's the sound that comes from the trees, okay, or something. But people say they come out of the ground every 7 years, but or actually, I think it's the locusts. It has to be, because they say cicadas come out every 7 years or something like that. Nevertheless, they're ugly. They're big. They say they're blind. I don't believe them. I just don't ever want to talk about it. But what's weird is I fell in love with that sound. Right. And so I fell in love with how it rains. It never rains in Southern California. It showers. But out here in the Midwest, it pours buckets, and it's just, I don't know, thunder and lightning. It's like, and then that part, the rain and the thunder and the lightning reminded me a lot of back home. Perhaps that's what I fell in love with too, especially the greenery. So a lot of greenery, a lot of wooded areas equals what? Bing, 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 a lot of buggies. And so, just telling you my story for those that may feel sorry for me. So I'm thinking, you know what? I'm going to have to bring this up to my therapist. Listen, because then what happened was, okay, so we talked about the chameleon, right, back there. So when I came to America, I was like, I'm safe. No chameleons out in the wild. None that I've seen. Perhaps don't go to like Florida with the lizards and stuff like that. But I could do a house lizard, because they kind of scare you off. They're like, whatever. Nobody's hanging out with you. So that's okay. And besides, they eat the little bugs. So fast forward, you come to the Midwest. I've seen granddaddy long legs. I was introduced to chiggers. You guys, chiggers is like these little red little itty bitty thingies. I mean, I don't know. It's just weird to explain. I'm thinking, listen, I've Googled it, but I've seen them moving wood, because I'm like, is that them? Okay, so allegedly, they're like really itchy and whatnot. So, barefoot in the summertime won't really happen. There goes the California flip-flops. And then, what else? Granddaddy long legs, chiggers. I get it. They say the granddaddy long legs are not poisonous. I get it. But still, why do they got long legs? They're like spiders. They're like house spiders, but I don't know, like a super version, if you ask me. And the chiggers, I don't know. It's like these itty bitty microscopic bugs. So family, I have to. I know. We're talking about bugs. I'm sorry if you're a person that doesn't like bugs. But I have to tell you guys, I need to stop saying guys. I have to tell you all the story about chiggers. Okay. So I had relocated to the Midwest, as I've been saying, and one of my patients, I would never forget it. I have to tell you this story because it's funny to me, And so one of my patients, we used to travel out to rural Missouri, and they call it Missouri, rural Missouri, we would go to rural Illinois. So, one of my patients was on my table, and I'm getting ready to do the test, and everything like that. And I look at around my patient's ankles, and I'm like, there was these bites. I didn't know there were bites, but there were these like little pimples, a lot of pimples around the patient's ankles. And I'm like, sir, what's going on? Because in my mind, I'm like, do we need a double glove, or what's going on over here? So, so I found a way to politely say, without offending a person. And we were talking about farmland, okay? So the man says to me, "Oh, that's just nothing but tigger bites." And I say, "What you call me, sir?" Just kidding. And so, I mean, first I said, "What?" Because I heard the last part, and I was like, "What?" I kid you not. I was like, "What?" Wait, run that back by me again. And he was like, "Chiggers." And I was like, "Oh, chiggers." So that's, a sister had to Google and figure out. I'm like, what kind of bug is this? I mean, I don't want any of that. It just looks uncomfortable. And so he proceeded. That was one of my first patients that really put me on game about chiggers. And so he told me what you do when you come into contact with them. And I started my Googleations after that. But I had to tell y'all that story because to me, it was funny, because I was like, "Chigga what?" "Jigga who?" And then check this out. So listen, I wanted to go hunting. I at least want to have a hunting experience one day, hunting. But I hear you have to be in the thick of the woods. And then something about not taking a shower, probably not putting deodorant. I don't know about that. I don't know about all of that. But then I don't know, one day we're gonna make baby steps. That's the next thing I need to conquer. But they say with the hunting, it's the deers. The deers, of course. Is the deer ticks. Goosebumps. Who say ticks? Now listen. Now that I'm just going back to my husband's thing because he was like, "I don't understand why you're afraid of bugs. You're from Africa." Just explaining. Okay. I'm hearing and seeing bugs I've never heard and seen in my whole entire life. Okay. Like I said, back home, a simple big grasshopper. Period. Just boom, boom, boom. Okay, it's off. Fly. You'd see some flies. And no, I wasn't having the flies. Like, I don't know where they get those commercials with the flies everywhere on the face. But listen, where I was, it was an abundance of flies, right? So you'd see a fly. I'm pretty sure there was bees and wasps. I just don't recall. I wasn't afraid of them like I am here. Oh, but I tell you what I didn't see though. That bumblebee. Oh no, that's a gangster. Now that I run away from. I'm like, what is going on? But let me tell you where all this stems from, I think. Not the chameleon. The chameleon stems from the story that my cousins told me and had me, I don't like praying mantises. Oh my gosh, they got these bugs out here that look like leaves. I know. I'm just like, I cannot. Yeah. I mean, when we talk about praying mantis, I'm like, just looks like a leaf, but it's going to be like, do, look at me move. But so I moved out of here, lived on my first apartment, lived on the second floor. I love the four seasons. Gotta love those. Those, yes. There's a lot more pluses than there is minuses, and bugs is just like in the summer and perhaps a little bit in the fall with the worst bugs of all, the stink bugs, but catch your breath. All right. So, I was on a second floor apartment. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, it's a breeze. I forget what season it was, but there was a breeze. So it possibly could have been spring or maybe going towards fall. No telling. So I said, you know what? I'm going to crack my bedroom window, get some of this breeze. So I cracked my bedroom window, went to sleep. Probably, this is a true story, probably around getting early. It probably was a start. Yeah, it probably was a little bit after spring because it was getting lighter early. It was about close to like 4:30, it was like 4:30, close to 5 a.m. I had this big headboard. I'm sound asleep. I know the sound of wings anywhere. Insect wings, that is. I hear hard, crunchy bzzz. I jump out of my sleep. Now I'm standing on my bed. I'm thinking to myself, I didn't dream that. And I know what I heard. Because now I'm questioning my sanity. So I stand still and I hear bzzz. Mind you, this is just some months that I'd already relocated to the Midwest. So I'm not knowing, I'm like, okay, that's definitely wings. That's definitely a big bug. You know what I mean? That one has a lot of wingspan. That's a big bug. So I'm like now trying to track, like, where the heck is this bug coming from? And I finally track it. And I kid you not, even up to this day, it's a mystery because those that live here say differently. But I track it on my headboard and it goes bzz, like just like runs from the top of my headboard all the way down. Thank goodness there was a little break between the mattress and the headboard where it just dove right down. And I was freaking out beyond measure. Kid you not. So I'm standing on my bed. I grabbed the phone. Don't laugh at me, guys. Don't do it. I called 911. I know. I didn't know no better. I learned don't do it. Anybody listening to this, if it's not an emergency, reserve the emergency line for true emergencies. Just look up your police station's local number. Talk to somebody there if you got some questions or something like that. So I didn't know. Okay, I didn't know. So listen, I'm like 21. Like, okay. Don't judge. No, I'm just kidding. So anyways, I'm judging myself. So there I am, freaking out, crying. I'm like hysterically crying. Oh my God, like somebody's just being murdered. They're like, 911 was the emergency. I'm like, I don't know what to do. I didn't know what to do. I don't know. They're like, they couldn't come out. Ma'am, the lady was really nice. The 911 dispatcher was nice, ma'am. We can't. She tried to calm me down and everything like that. So I'm thinking, my mind was thinking what I need to do. I can't go to work until I kill the sucker. Because when I come back, that's going to be all on me. I won't be able to sleep there. I won't be able to live there. So I'm like, okay, here's what I do. Okay, she tried her best. She couldn't. They're not going to send a police officer for that. No, ma'am. They said the tax-paying dollars are not going to go to that venture. She didn't say it like that, but in just nice words, kind of like that. So I said, okay, boom, bye, hang up. So I'm like, okay. Ironically, I just got new neighbors across from me. Hadn't introduced myself, but I seen them move in the times that, I was coming home or whatever it is, but never knocked on and officially introduced myself, right? So I'm like, I need help. Jumped off that bed and I ran to the neighbors. Ran. Bolted out that door, opened that door. At this point in time, I don't know where the bug is located, but I need help. I'm banging on the neighbor's door early in the morning. The man comes, you can hear him coming to the door talking about, who is it? I'm like, it's your neighbor. I just need some help. And he opens the door. He's grabbing his shoes. He's like, he's putting on his shoes. He's coming out. He's like, what's going on? And I said, there's a big bug in here. I don't even know what it is. I just need help to kill it. I'm so scared. So the neighbor comes in, and so we looking for this bug. We go back. At that time, when I jumped off the bed, the bugs had ran into the bathroom. The bathroom was directly across from me. I'd seen it like speed off, big, thumb size, big. I'm talking about big brown. And so he comes in, and so now we're looking for the bug. We're looking everywhere. We finally, he goes underneath the bed. He sees it, and he goes, oh, SHIT, what's that? I was like, I don't know, kill it. He's got bug spray. He's like trying to spray. The more he sprayed it, it's like running, and its little wings are like coming out like a plane about to take off on a runway, and it's running. I'm like, get it before it fly off, and he's like, his little wings just coming up, and finally he corners it, and he just like lets it all out from the can or whatever. It was hard to kill, respectfully to bug lovers. Sorry that had to happen. So it looked like it was, now on his back, little legs up. I'm like, you know what? I've been crying. I'm freaking stressed. It stressed me out. I need to go to work. I'll be back to clean up the body later. I thank the neighbor. The neighbor goes on their way. It became a long-standing joke. The first time they met me, I had bug troubles. And so I come back from work. First thing I do is where I mustered my strength as I was going up those stairs. I'm going to do this. I get in, I get my dustpan. I go to that room, and it's right there, right where we last left it. It's huge. Earlier on, I had asked my neighbor, I was like, what do you think that is? He didn't know. He is from here. He didn't know. He's like, I don't know what that is. And so I described the bug to my coworkers because I thought it was like a flying roach. Like a big thumb-size flying roach. They're like, we don't have those out here. They're like, that's in Florida. I'm like, for real? Well, this mug was like brown, big. It was like, I'm talking about thumb size. I know I'm referring to everything as thumb size, but this is not like kitty thumb size, not no teenager thumb size. This is like full adult thumb size. And so, people out here are telling me, no, we don't have bugs like that. So up to this day, I don't know what that was. And, but people have told me that they have water bugs out here, but I don't know if water bugs get that big, you know? And so took the bug, took it to the toilet, flushed it in the, managed to scoop it up with the duster and kind of like did like that, make sure, nothing was moving. Put it in the toilet and rest in peace, flush the toilet. And I think that's what did it for me. I think that moment defined my relationship with bugs. From that moment forward, I don't like any flying bugs or anything like that. I don't like that. So with that, the moral of this entire story, yes, my honey, we were going somewhere. And I do apologize once again because it only dawned on me that there may be people out there that are like me that do not care for the itty bitty cute bugs. We need them. They're good for our ecosystem. We get that. But family, at one point in time, I'm grown now and I'm still growing, but I'm grown. But at that point in time, follow me, at that point in time, bugs would consume me. I kid you not, in the summertime or whenever they sprout out from the grounds, from the shells, from wherever in hibernation they were. Oh, honey, I wasn't really doing a lot of outdoor activities. You know what I'm saying? I was like paying attention to the bugs. I mean, seriously, but it wasn't no like paranoia, but it was a fine line. I think I was like 1 or half a foot into that realm, of just, it's hot outside, so there's going to be plenty of bugs. I mean, I bought off that stuff, the products to, bug repellent. And I felt like I was a bug repellent. I mean, the mosquitoes just stuck onto me, I was like, wait a minute, this is supposed to deter them. But so I caught myself doing all these things just because my relationship with bugs was awkward. And here's the reality of my mind. It's that bugs do not, for the majority part, well, where I live, bugs do not aim to kill a person, a human being. I mean, there might be a poisonous spider here and there, but, I'm not out in the thick of the woods. You know what I'm saying? In this communities that I live, in the community that I live, in the places that I navigate, they're not out there like that. Let's not talk about water moccasins in the local park. We're not gonna go that far, but we're not even gonna go there right now. But let's stick to the bugs talk, right? And so here it is. I'm like, okay, we are going to have to coexist. This is me now to the world. Like, listen, time's up. I'm done. I try. The best thing I ever did was incorporate the ultrasonic devices into the home. Okay, you fly in here, you get zapped. This is a no-fly zone in here. Okay, let's just do that part first. So I sort of do. Okay, I said, you know what? We got that part dialed. We get the house sprayed when it's about spring and so forth. But I learned something, just like we are going through right now. I learned that this behavior is within my control. I learned that if I have to coexist with these little bugs, perhaps if I just ignore them for the most part, going about my daily business, going about my morning walk at the park, spring, summertime, going about some outdoor regular activities, then they won't see me. And I get it, right? So, I mean, it wasn't an overnight flip. Okay. Change is painful sometimes. And so it's not like I woke up the next day and I was like, it's a brand new me. It's a brand new day. Flip flops, here I come. Let's go hang out in the sun. No. But it gradually took, like most things, I have to convince my mind first. So it gradually took me working on my mind, trying to be an adult, right? Because listen, I'm adulting. Okay. I cannot be a grown adult out here in public running away from a bee. Like, we got to keep it cute and classy. So hence to say, and those that still run, listen, I was there. I get it. Listen, I mean, Listen, baby steps. Just don't bring me the super big ones. Like we're learning in increments. We've worked on the small, medium sized bugs. Just don't bring the super duper, like, mega size. You know what I'm saying? So with everything going on, family, how do we deal? How do bugs get into this mix with the world? My point exactly. Okay, bugs have been here for millennia. They have been here since the dawn of day. Okay, they've been here before I was born. Okay, and so I have to learn to coexist with them. I know that they exist, but I also know, and I always knew, even in the moment of fear, that they were not going to kill me. Besides not wanting to be stung, my excuse, is, listen, I'm like still a baby, but I'm an adult. You know what I mean? I don't know if anybody's in the crossroads. Hey, I'm in between. Okay. I'm a grown adult child sometimes. I just have to confess. But what I'm saying is, because when my coworkers caught me running, because people are like, what the heck is wrong with her? I'm like, oh, I don't know if I'm allergic to bees, bee stings. You know what I mean? One of those, right? One of those. Put a big excuse on it. I don't know if I'm allergic to bee stings, so I got to keep away from it. But listen, so I found my life to get easier and better if I just kind of ignore them. Hey, look, we are going to coexist. We are going to do this thing called life together. And bumblebees, I don't necessarily still like you all because y'all so big and fat and kind of fast. But if I see you, I'm not going to freak out. You're not going to get that energy. You're not going to get that energy. Okay, so here's the thing with everything that's going on. How can we use this moment, this now energy, to our advantage? One, we don't have a need to freak out. This world has been evolving and happening and life existing since the dawn of day, before majority of all of us were born, especially all 3, 4, 5 generations. Doesn't matter how many generations back, we were not here at the start of this thing. Okay. Because if you're still alive, then I don't know. I mean, holla at your girl. Let me know what you're doing. But you get the point, right? So Earth has seen a lot. She has endured a lot. She has overcome. So Earth has seen her share of hurts, disappointments, wars, things that have affected her. And she's still here, resilient. And that's what we could do. These uncertain, weird, awkward times where we are not really sure of what is going on, we can, like the bugs, not necessarily just completely ignore that, things will fall in place, but we can acknowledge that they're there. I acknowledge the bugs being there. Like, listen, you're going to be in my vicinity. I'm just going to move right over here. Or I'm just going to pick up my pace and power walk most times. But I'm not going to run away from you anymore. I'm not going to do short sprints. We are not going to do that. We're just going to coexist. So here it is. There is so much brouhaha happening. Sometimes it's so tough to keep up with it. And listen, it's mentally draining. It's energy I wouldn't even want anyone to be absorbed in, because you cannot dig it out at the well and get to the bottom and pull up the pail with the water, even if you tried. The hole just keeps going. So here it is, family. All we could do is govern ourselves to who we are. Govern ourselves to who we are with our family. That's what's most important in this moment. These times that we will enjoy in the now, right now, in the present, in the moment. I understand we can acknowledge our 5-year goals, our 10-year goals, 6-year goals for those that have those goals, but understand that the moment to seize is right now, in this moment. The moment to cherish is right now, in this moment, this present moment. I've often found out that that's what brings solace into my soul. When the world is in chaos, breakdown, and is going all kinds of places, I found that just being in the spirit of now, in the moment of now, helps me steady myself, helps me navigate life. You know what I'm saying? It's like, No, no, no. We're just going to focus on this energy right now, this now moment, the present moment. We'll take everything baby steps. Of course, like I said, we are going to understand and acknowledge that we got all these things around us. We got sky high gas prices. We don't even know if they're going to hit the cap, but we can't fret over what we don't know yet. We can acknowledge that there is some potential news and rumors of war happening. There hasn't been an invasion, right? We can acknowledge that there are countries around that may be or thinking of mobilizing. We don't know that, but we cannot dwell in the what ifs. The what ifs don't produce results. They produce worriness. They produce anxiousness. They produce nervousness. They produce restlessness. But what we do have control over, family, is this moment in time, to seize this moment, to maximize on this moment. I promise you that I have noticed that my most productive moments in life were when I was down and out. I mean, sis's energy was just like, let me tell you something. I remember in my most darkest moment, all I could do was write. And I wrote, I kid you not, there's a book I love personally. Usually I'm my worst critic. I was like, this book was amazing because I said subconsciously in that moment when I was really down and out, I wanted to harness and capture that energy because the book was dark and it had a dark story to it, but it had an all-encompassing story for history purposes. It's a fictional history book. And so that energy worked. So it is in these moments, family, sometimes where it may feel like there's no silver lining, where it may feel like you cannot quite see the light at the end of the tunnel, one thing after the next. I mean, what else is the world going to pile on us? But just like the insects and the bugs, or the insects/bugs that exist around us, they're not going to bite us, sting us, kill us for the most part. Nah, there are people that are allergic to bee stings, wasp spray. That's we could get into details about that, but you get the point. Let's say that we get the general messaging, right? You know me, I could go off on a tangent, but we get, to incorporate everybody, but you get the general gist. I had to, because I say, listen, I'm living in this earth. I cannot just be like cocooned all up in the house 24/7 and just not enjoy sunlight, not enjoy going to the pool, not enjoy like the weather, just because the bugs and we were at odds, like, we were beefing and whatnot. And so, but when my mind was made up that I was going to live in harmony and coexist with these little suckers, like I said, it was a revelation. It was a revelation. It was as if I could just walk and navigate life and, okay, I acknowledge you are all out here busy bees, bzz, no pun intended, bzz, busy, doing your thing for the queen. Shout out to the bee queen. And so, that's part of it. So this is the moral of the story, because this is what we've been handed. We don't have control of the world events. We don't. But what we could do is participate in light, right? We can participate in our meditation. We could go within, right? We could seek and evolve within. That's what we could do. We can stay and raise the vibrations off this earth together as light workers, right? Right. They didn't involve us in the decision-making processes that they're doing out here, but it's okay. At home, in our homes, we live within. Sometimes it's a moment to silence the minds, to be still, to reflect, but definitely not a time to digest all of this speculation outlet and then, be in overload, functioning in overload and paranoia, and just because it really could trickle. That energy could trickle. So my dear beloved family, I say that we govern ourselves accordingly, understanding as light workers that we still have our own spaces where we are, where we can make that place a better place for yourself and your family or your loved one. Yes, perhaps, the rent has been increased. The mortgage has gone up. Perhaps there's things going on. Perhaps the car is delayed. Perhaps the hours at the job have been cut off. Perhaps it's going to be so complicated to make it work because the gas prices are high. Perhaps the commute is going to make it that much harder. Perhaps you don't even know if you're going to still be working here. Hours are cut. The business is slow. Customers are not coming in. There's a lot of factors that can be going on at the same time, but taking a deep breath, my love. Breathe out. You are going to be okay if you believe you're going to be okay with the power of intentions and manifestations. The most productive time, or most businesses have been birthed during the Great Depression, during the times where it's been tough and hard for a people. They say what? Necessity is the mother of all invention. Perhaps it's that time to take out that notepad and create that design, to patent that design, to perhaps even fulfill that design. Perhaps your ideas are needed now more so than ever. But the busyness of life, because it was going so forward and straight, that you never had time to actually sit down into the things that you are passionate about, the things that you want to do. Perhaps this is the moment, beloved. This is the moment to pause for the cause. And the cause being you in mind, body, and soul. It definitely is a different time that we live in, but do not be dismayed, because these are events that have happened over and over and over again. They just seem very brand new because we are experiencing them for the first time. But also expand your mind as you go within. Expand your mind. Perhaps it's not just based all on ideas and patterns and so forth, but expand your mind. In an unconventional moment, you will need perhaps unconventional ideas, right? Perhaps it's the cost of gas. Do you have carpool in your community? Who can you? Perhaps you don't really talk to your neighbors, but which way do you travel to work? Perhaps it's the time to be social. Perhaps it's the time to come up with unconventional ways so that you can coexist in this world. I love you all so much. And remember that we are in this together, and that we are going to pull through together. No matter what the circumstances look like, you are breathing, you are alive. Don't be afraid to reach out for help, whatever that looks like in your life. Do you keep getting a reoccurring dream and are trying to figure out why you keep dreaming of the same dream? Or perhaps are you dreaming of teeth falling out? Or have you ever had a dream where you were naked, and perhaps even naked in public? OMG, how embarrassing. Or perhaps you don't remember your dreams when you wake up. Well, check it out. Join us at the Dream Decoding podcast, where I teach you on how to train yourself to have a memory recall, or I teach you on how to understand your dreams as it pertains to your current waking life. The importance of understanding the symbols and messages that we get in our dream realm is because sometimes these messages are coming to give us a good word or to help us along the path. So don't miss out. Join us at the Dream Decoding podcast with your host, Memory.